team building and trust building. That's what we're going to talk about on this video. So what do we need to do to build trust in our teams? How do we get people to start trusting each other? How do we get them to trust us? How do we get them to trust the leadership? How do we move the needle? That's what we're going to talk about. And here's some tips and tricks that we're going to do. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that everybody knows that they're valued. When we have a culture of growth and that people are valued and that they matter, guess what happens? They start putting on a new kind of warrior outfit that they know that they matter. They're coming in with a little bit more enthusiasm. And we also need to make sure that they know that they're a part of the mission to service the customer, how they're helping the customer win. We want them to know that they matter and they're a part of that story. They'll be more engaged. But let's talk about this trust. How do we build trust on our teams? Now, it's kind of hard when you have 1,000 employees under you. But as a manager or a team lead where you have like 10 to 12 people or smaller groups, you can do this a little bit better. You can do different kind of activities. And no, I'm not talking about doing trust falls and all that other stuff. But what I am talking about is getting outside of the office. That's the first thing I like to do, is get people outside of the office. Maybe it's, let's go have lunch together outside of the office so we're not focusing on work. Maybe it's after hours, we all go have a drink over at a little bar or something. Not getting too drunk, but just a little bit, just to hang out, build those relationships. It's kind of like we're in sales at that point, where we're going out and learning about people. That's what you got to do. You got to have common ground, and people have to have common ground with others. And so doing so, getting off site will help us do that. We can also do barbecues at our work for during the summertime, especially if you're in the Midwest. Barbecues during the winter are kind of difficult, right? You're going to be out there in a parka standing there with a grill. People aren't going outside. So we want to make sure that we're doing stuff outside when we can. Okay? The next thing we could do is actually go off and do small things together, activities together. Maybe it's we're volunteering together for an association. We all go out there and do that together. Because as we go and do stuff together, we start building bonds together. And that's where trust starts flowing, is when we're doing stuff together. We could do Habitat for Humanity. Okay? We can also go out and do like escape rooms. That's right, escape rooms. They're fun adventures. They don't cost too much. We get people outside of the office, and we're starting to do an activity where people have to work together and think through puzzles together, and they start building those bonds as well. That's a great opportunity to do that. Now, if you've done all those things and you want to do something more, you can look up like an Operation Adventure, where you're hanging off a ceiling about 40 feet above the ground, and you got to do obstacles on a ropes course. Now, that kind of takes you up a notch, right? That's going to be a lot of trust. And I actually, back in college, actually participated and led teams like big organizations like automotive industries and whatnot. And it was fun to get up there and see how people started building trust together. Fantastic, but it is a bit more expensive. So the main purpose is, let's get people outside the office so they can function together and do stuff together. They'll start building bonds. Now, we also want to make sure that people know that they're valued. I know some organizations, like on their birthdays, they make people actually bring in their own donuts and stuff for their birthday, which is kind of weird. Knowing and having a culture of value for people, showing them that they matter, maybe it's decorating their cubicle or getting them something like a special treat for their birthday or whatnot. Having that little bit of a budget is going to pay dividends for the team. And having everybody come around on that person on their special day is going to build bonds. Now, sometimes people are going through rough times. Having the team rally around them, like say their parent is actually got a cancer diagnosis and is really sick, or their child is coming in and it's got a birth defect, or they're going to have a birth. And so having the team rally around those people is going to build trust. Having the flexibility with your team that people will jump in and serve and help the other teammates is going to build trust. So having that culture with all of these other activities is going to build trust on your team. Now, if you have any other questions about that, like the trust equation and how you start working that to build more trust on your teams, feel free to reach out. My contact information's below. Now, if this video was helpful, hit like, share, subscribe, send to somebody you think it might benefit. That's why I do these videos, to help you. We'll see you next time.